6. Essential vitamins to keep your legs strong in old age, even at 90. I'm going to tell you something most people don't believe until they see it with their own eyes. I'm 90 years old, and I still walk every single day. No cane, no walker. Just me, my legs, and the ground beneath me. And let me be clear, it's not because I've been lucky. No, luck has nothing to do with it. I've lost friends to weak bones, fragile joints, and fading strength. I've seen once strong men reduced to wheelchairs, not because their time was up, but because they didn't know how to take care of their legs. But I learned I had to. You see, when I was in my early 60s, I started to feel it. The stiffness in the knees, the aching calves, the occasional stumble that made me wonder if something was wrong. Doctors said it was just old age, but I didn't accept that. Not for 1 second. I believed then, and I still believe now, that we have more power over our bodies than we're told. God gave us these vessels. And just like a good farmer tends his field or a wise craftsman cares for his tools, we are called to take care of the bodies we've been given. So I began learning, digging through books, asking questions, experimenting with food, exercise, and supplements. And over time, I discovered something simple but powerful. There are a few essential vitamins that made all the difference. They didn't just ease the pain, they helped me rebuild. They gave me the strength to walk up hills again. To stand for long periods without shaking. To live, not just survive, in the body of a 90-year-old man. That's what I want to share with you today. Not theory, not hype, just wisdom earned through time, tested by pain, and proven by results. You don't need to be young to be strong. You just need the right knowledge, a bit of discipline, and a whole lot of faith. So if you've been feeling the weight of the years on your legs, if stairs feel longer than they used to, if standing at the sink or walking to the store feels like a battle, don't give up. You can turn it around, and I'm going to show you how, just like I did. Let's walk this road together. Because I believe with all my heart, if I can still stand tall at 90, you can too. Section 1. The foundation of strong legs, why it matters. When I was younger, I didn't think twice about my legs. I used to run, jump, work long hours standing on them, never once imagining a day would come when simply rising from a chair would feel like climbing a mountain. But let me tell you, once you lose your legs, you lose more than just mobility. You lose freedom. You want to know what independence looks like at 90? It's walking to the bathroom on your own. It's standing at your kitchen counter making your own sandwich. It's taking a slow stroll on a sunny day without needing anyone to hold your arm. That's dignity. That's life. People think the mind goes first in old age, but I've seen something different. I've seen sharp minds trapped inside failing bodies, strong spirits who can't stand, can't walk, can't move without help. And it's almost always the legs that go first. That's why I say this. Leg strength is the gatekeeper to everything else. When I was about 67, I started noticing a little wobble when I stood. A kind of trembling in my thighs. Nothing major at first, but it grew. And I'll be honest with you, it scared me. I remember standing in front of the mirror, looking at myself and saying, this can't be how it ends. So I started asking questions. Why do legs get weak? What makes muscles wither and bones brittle? And the answers weren't always what I expected. It wasn't just age, it was nutrients, habits, movement, and knowledge. No one had taught me this before. I had to figure it out on my own. You see, the body doesn't just break down because of time. It breaks down because we stop giving it what it needs to thrive. The legs are made up of powerful muscles, complex joints, and bones that need constant nourishment to stay strong. And most people go decades without feeding those parts properly. If you've been ignoring your legs, thinking you'll deal with them later, I'm here to tell you, later comes faster than you think. But here's the good news. It's not too late. I didn't start rebuilding my strength until I was already sliding downhill. And yet, I climbed back up. You can too. Now, let's talk about the first vitamin that made all the difference. And Section 2. Vitamin D, the sunshine strengthener. I remember the first time I read about vitamin D and thought, how important can sunshine really be? Turns out it was more important than I ever imagined. You know what happens when you go years without enough of it? Your bones start whispering. And then, one day, they scream. Back in my early 70s, I had a spell of falling sick more often. My knees started aching constantly, and my bones felt like they were made of glass. I thought I had arthritis, maybe something worse. Turns out it was a vitamin D deficiency, plain and simple. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium, the very thing your bones are made of. Without it, all the calcium in the world won't reach your legs. Your bones weaken, your muscles cramp, and your joints get stiff like rusted hinges on an old door. That was me. I was rusting from the inside out. Now, I didn't want to load up on pills right away, so I did what my grandfather used to do, step into the morning sun. Just 15 to 20 minutes a day. I started walking outside in the early light, sometimes barefoot in the grass. Other times just sitting on the porch with a cup of tea, letting that warmth soak into my skin, and slowly I felt different, stronger. Lighter, more alive. Of course, I added foods too, fatty fish like salmon, egg yolks, and even fortified cereals when I needed them. Later on, I took a supplement during the winter months when the sun was shy. Within a year, the difference was incredible. My knees stopped aching. My bones felt sturdier. I wasn't afraid to climb stairs anymore. It's funny how something so simple, just getting enough sunlight, can change your life. Don't let modern life keep you inside. Don't let fear of wrinkles or weather stop you from stepping out. That sun was made for you. It's God's free medicine, and believe me, at 90, I still greet the morning with a little sun on my face. It's the first gift I give my body every day. Section 3. Vitamin K2, the bone guardian. Now here's a vitamin hardly anyone talks about. I didn't even know it existed until I was already in my late 70s. And let me tell you, when I found out what it does, I was downright angry. No one had told me sooner. You see, for years I was taking calcium. Doctors said it was good for my bones, so I followed orders. But what nobody told me was that if you take calcium without the right support, it doesn't always go to your bones. Sometimes it ends up in your arteries or in your joints, hardening you from the inside. That's when I stumbled across vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is like a traffic cop for calcium. It tells the calcium where to go, straight into your bones and teeth, not into places it doesn't belong. Without it, you might be doing more harm than good. And trust me, at 78 years old, I found out the hard way. I had stiffness in my knees, even though I was eating right and getting plenty of sunlight. I thought maybe it was just part of aging, but then I came across a study that showed how K2 works hand in hand with vitamin D to strengthen bones and clear out calcium buildup from the wrong places. That was the missing piece of the puzzle for me. Once I started adding K2 to my routine, it was like something clicked. The tightness in my joints eased up, my legs moved more freely. It felt like my body was finally working the way it was meant to. I started eating more fermented foods, like natto, aged cheeses, and even some sauerkraut. And I took a small K2 supplement with my vitamin D. The result? More energy, less stiffness, and a surprising sense of confidence in my stride. I didn't feel like I had to be so careful with every step. That's a powerful feeling at my age. Vitamin K2 doesn't get the spotlight it deserves, but I'll say this. If you're taking calcium or vitamin D and you're not also thinking about K2, you're only doing half the job. Protect your bones. Guard your joints and let your legs carry you, not just today, but into the years ahead. Section 4. Vitamin B12, the nerve reviver. Let me ask you something. Have you ever stood up and felt like your legs just didn't wake up fast enough? Like there's this strange numbness or tingling, and you're not sure if your feet are all the way there. I've felt that, more than once. And it scared me. In my mid-70s, I started having moments where I'd stand up and wobble, or I'd feel this strange buzzing in my calves. I thought maybe it was circulation. Or maybe age had finally caught up with me. But the truth was simpler and more fixable than I imagined. I was low on vitamin B12. You see, B12 is essential for your nerves. It keeps the communication lines between your brain and your legs sharp and fast. Without it, the signals get slow, or worse, they don't get through at all. That's why people with low B12 often feel off balance or experience that weird tingling or burning in their legs. The problem is, as you get older, your body doesn't absorb B12 as easily, especially if you take certain medications or don't eat much meat. And if you're vegetarian or vegan, you have to watch this one closely. I didn't know any of this. Nobody warned me. But once I got tested and saw how low I was, I started making changes. At first, I tried to eat more B12-rich foods, like beef liver, eggs, and sardines, but it wasn't enough. So I talked to my doctor and started taking a B12 supplement. In some cases, folks need a B12 shot to get their levels back up quickly, and that's okay. Do what works. Within weeks, I felt steadier, my balance improved, the buzzing in my feet faded. It was like someone turned the lights back on in my legs. I could feel again, I could trust my steps again. That's not something you take for granted in your later years. Don't ignore the signs. If your legs feel slow, clumsy, or disconnected from your brain, pay attention. That's your body whispering, I need help. Give it what it needs. B12 gave me my footing back, and it can do the same for you. Section 5. Magnesium, the muscle relaxer and energy booster. Let me tell you about the night that changed everything. I was 82, lying in bed, when I woke up to the worst pain I'd felt in years. A cramp in my calf so sharp, I thought my muscle might tear in two. I sat up, tried to massage it, even stood up to walk it off. Nothing worked. That's when I knew something deeper was going on. What I didn't know then, but know very well now, is that my body was starving for magnesium. This mineral is responsible for over 300 functions in your body, including how your muscles contract and relax. Without enough magnesium, your legs are like a car running without oil. Things start grinding and locking up. I used to get cramps often, especially at night. My muscles would twitch, my legs would feel heavy and weak, and I had no idea why. I was drinking water, stretching, eating well, but I still felt drained. Then I read about magnesium, and it was like a switch flipped in my brain. I started adding leafy greens, almonds, black beans, and pumpkin seeds to my meals. I switched to whole grains and started using a little magnesium oil on my legs at night, and just like that, the cramps eased. My legs felt lighter, more relaxed. Even my sleep improved. Magnesium doesn't just help your muscles, it also plays a big role in energy production. Without it, your legs feel tired before you've even taken a step. But once I started getting enough, walking didn't feel like a chore anymore. I actually wanted to move. Now, I make sure I get my magnesium daily, through food first, and sometimes a small supplement if I've had a heavy day. It's simple. It's affordable, and it's changed the way I age. If you've been dealing with restless legs, cramps, or constant fatigue in your lower body, this might be the missing piece. Don't wait for another painful night to wake you up. Start feeding your muscles today. Magnesium brought peace to my nights and power to my steps. That's a gift worth giving yourself. Section 6. Vitamin C, the circulation and collagen builder. Let me take you back to a time I'll never forget. I was 85 years old and I noticed something strange. My legs were bruising easier and my skin looked thinner. I'd get small cuts and they'd take forever to heal. I even started noticing that the skin around my shins was dry and cracked and my legs just didn't look the same anymore. But what worried me most, my legs started to feel cold. I knew something was off. I was still walking, still eating fairly well, but something deeper was happening. So I went back to the basics. I asked, what holds all this together? What keeps my skin, veins, and blood vessels strong? That's when I rediscovered an old friend, vitamin C. Now, most people think of vitamin C as something for colds. But at my age, it's not about avoiding sniffles. It's about holding your body together, literally. Vitamin C is what your body uses to produce collagen, the protein that strengthens your skin, your blood vessels, your joints, and yes, your leg muscles and tendons. I started increasing my intake: citrus fruits, bell peppers, broccoli, even strawberries when they were in season. I took a gentle supplement as well, especially during the colder months when fresh produce was scarce. Within weeks I saw a difference. My legs didn't bruise as easily. Cuts healed faster. That cold, lifeless feeling in my calves disappeared. My skin began to look alive again. But more than appearance, I felt better circulation. I didn't get that heavy-legged feeling after sitting for a while. My veins didn't bulge like they used to. I felt my blood flowing the way it should, and that brought energy to every step. Vitamin C isn't just for staying healthy, it's for staying strong. If your legs look or feel weak, if your skin feels fragile, or your circulation isn't what it used to be, don't ignore it. Vitamin C could be the key. It sure was for me. Section 7. Vitamin E, the protector of blood flow and flexibility. Now let me tell you about a vitamin that acts like a shield, one that protects the very highways your blood travels through. That's vitamin E. And believe me, it's more important than you think. When I was around 88, I started to notice numbness creeping into my toes. Just a little at first, but it worried me. I'd walk, and the tips of my feet would feel like they weren't quite there. It wasn't pain, it was a strange kind of quiet, like my nerves had gone to sleep. I'd sit too long and my legs would feel stiff, sluggish. Something was off. I dug into my books again, and what I found was eye-opening. Vitamin E. It's a powerful antioxidant that protects your blood vessels and keeps them flexible. That means better circulation, better oxygen delivery, and better movement. It's like giving your legs a clearer road to drive on. I started eating more sunflower seeds, almonds, spinach, and avocados. Simple changes. Natural sources. And soon after, I added a modest supplement to help fill in the gaps. The results? That numbness faded. My steps felt lighter again. My legs, even in their old age, felt young. Vitamin E doesn't get the fanfare, but it should, especially for people like us, whose bodies have been walking this earth for decades. It protects you from the inside, keeps your blood flowing, helps your muscles get what they need to move, bend, and carry you forward. If you've got stiffness, slow circulation, or that tingling in your feet, pay attention. Your body might be calling for help, and vitamin E might just be the answer. Conclusion. You're not too old to stand strong again. You've walked with me through every chapter of this journey, from the sunshine of vitamin D to the nerve-waking power of B12, from the deep healing of magnesium to the vessel-protecting gift of vitamin E. And now, I want to leave you with something even more important than all the science, all the supplements, all the advice. Hope. Because here's what I know at 90 years old. You are not too old, not too far gone, not too weak. You may feel like your legs have failed you, like your best days are behind you, but they're not. Your body is still listening. It still responds. It still heals. You just have to feed it what it needs. I'm not saying it'll happen overnight. I'm not promising miracles, but I am promising progress. A little more strength. A little less pain, a little more balance, and a whole lot of dignity. These vitamins aren't magic. They're just truth, natural tools your body is begging for. And once you give them to it, you'll feel the shift. Maybe you'll stand up a little straighter. Maybe your morning walk will be a few steps longer. Maybe you'll rise from a chair without using your hands. That's strength, that's freedom, that's life. I'm 90. And I'm still standing, still walking, still living with power in my legs and peace in my heart. You can too. Start today.